The House Judiciary Standing Committee met in Lansing for those discussions. Prosecutors, superintendents, and students provided testimony. Here's Mid-MichiganNow's Chloe Godbold with more.
Some of the bills discussed deal with penalties for storing or leaving a firearm where it may be accessed by a minor and a licensing or background checks for the purchase of firearms. Mother of MSU shooting survivor Troy Furbush calling for change with an emotional statement.
I love you, Mom. I've been shot. There's a shooter.
These are the words Krista Grettenberger said as she testified in front of the Michigan House Judiciary Committee on proposed gun control legislation. Grettenberger's son survived the shooting that killed 3 students and critically injured Troy and 4 others.
As he lay there in his own blood, he recalls hearing his classmates asking for belts, rushing around, screaming, and frightened. Our scars will last the rest of our lives. The students of MSU will carry their scars, their trauma, forever.
Grettenberger, along with many others, urging legislation to prevent gun violence to pass.
We can bring on the army of therapists. It is not going to solve this problem. We have people in crisis, and restricting a weapon. So in that moment of crisis and impulse, they cannot reach for a weapon and use it to end their life. If anyone isn't in favor of that, that's insanity to me.
Others like John Lott, who testified about a bill that will require universal background checks to purchase a gun, says there should be an exception.
All the other states that have something like this, that if a woman is in imminent danger, you're allowed to temporarily loan her your gun. This does not even have that qualification. This would be the only state with this type of law without that exception.
Several Republican lawmakers today voiced their opposition to proposed gun legislation that is. Included in those bills are calls for secure storage of firearms and ammunition. Mid-Michigan Now reporter Chloe Godbold has more from both sides of the aisle on this issue.
Measures that the Democratic Party and the legislatures are pushing will make Michiganders less safe. In the event of an emergency, it will be more difficult for us to defend ourselves and be safe.
This is what the Michigan Republican Party chairperson, along with other Republicans, said Tuesday on the steps of the state capitol. Newly proposed gun legislation calls for the secure storage of firearms and ammunition, universal background checks, and red flag laws that would allow a court to determine if a weapon should be taken from someone potentially at risk of injuring themselves or others. Several Republicans say this legislation infringes on a person's Second Amendment rights.
So this is about self-defense. This is about our right to bear arms, and I'm here today to defend that and to stand up for it.
This discussion comes weeks after the deadly shooting at Michigan State University that killed 3 people and critically injured 5 others. Republicans say it was a devastating event, but some say the shooting can't only be blamed on guns, but on a mental health crisis as well.
We need to bring back the mental health institutions we used to have, coupled with the current ones we do have, and have every treatment option available to our people in need and in crisis in our society today.
Democratic Representative Julie Brixey says the proposed gun bills include extreme risk protection orders. Brixey also says she understands firsthand how these laws could be beneficial given MSU is in her district.
Most people don't realize that the over half of gun deaths are people taking their own lives. And that really speaks volumes to the mental health crisis, but also the ease and ability of obtaining a firearm. Students from Michigan State have been coming to the Capitol and asking us, what do we care more about, children or guns? And they have put it very plainly and simply, and I think that's a very good question to ask ourselves.